It's Luiz Faye for VIP Boxing, and I am joined with HAGAN and Josh Warrington. How are you doing, guys?
Very well.
All right, very well. Never been better.
Well, it's bank holiday. We've got a full gym in there. Everyone's been working hard, but I thought I'd steal you two away because, as you know, I've started a podcast for VIP, and it's been a little bit of an interest of mine for a while, and it's all around the relationships between fathers and sons in boxing and what can be the recipe to success and the key to the detriment. So it was an absolute no-brainer. I had to come and speak to you guys. I mean, I don't know why. What do you think?
We don't really have a relationship. What happens is I give him advice. Right? He disagrees with it,
And I do want
and he doesn't.
Right, I'll just get rid of the questions.
I give him advice, and he does like he said. He does what the fuck he wants.
But is that the key to success? You tell Josh what he needs to know, and when Josh decides that it's the right thing to do, Josh came out with the idea in the first place.
In the words of the great Brian Clough, if we have a disagreement, we sit down and we talk about it. Usually when I'm passing his house, I call him for a coffee, get me place at the table there while he makes me a coffee.
So you do know your place outside of the gym, Josh? You put the kettle on?
Then we discuss it. Yeah. Then we decide I'm right in the end. But it's a long road round there. Because everything I say he'll disagree with. Thing with him, the key to it is this: you've got to plant a seed, yeah, and then he thinks he's thought of it. Which it's like with women. It's like with women, what I've got to do with my missus, I've got to suggest something.
Just plant the seed.
Plant the seed. And then a couple of days later she'll come round and it's her idea. So.
And I'll add to that though. Sorry to cut you off there before you spoke, but he's brought me up a certain way. So yes, I agree that I will argue, but I'll say that I got to a stage of maybe mid-20s when I realised this is not the best way to go about things. So I would listen, and if I disagreed, I would just give my opinion. But knowing him as I know him, he also is never wrong. So what happens is you have a pair of magnets going against each other and bounce. And listen, in camps, wow, it's been so much friction. Yeah. But over time, whenever the arm gets raised and we've had successful nights, that gets swept on the carpet. Yeah. And we don't really go over or ground. If anything, it becomes a laughing thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you were an arsehole, are you what? And we have a bit of a banter about it, but that's it. But I think now, I've certainly over the last 5 years, right, it's more of a discussion rather than, let me tell you, or, I like to think that he appreciates my experiences of fighting. Obviously, I appreciate his opinion because I know, his record speaks for itself, because it just came for me, it's came for Max Hughes, it's came for Reece Mould as well, and it's came for a lot of other fighters who are coming through.
The wealth of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
So his
CV speaks for itself, and I like to think that these days we kind of talk things through it rather than listen. There is moments when it gets a bit, yeah, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, but it's I don't take it on like he used to do, and I don't think he does either.
But you mentioned then about the twins. So do you think that you mellowing out to that kind of listening to Dad, taking that away, thinking about it, and then making your own decision, do you think that kind of came about when you become a dad and trying to get the girls to listen to you more?
No. It's made it worse, because what he does now, I've got the twins now, the girls, he has them bullying me and picking on me. You don't even call me granddad. You don't even call me granddad. Johnny. Depending on what else we're going to have.
Yeah.
Johnny Kebab.
Yeah.
It was Johnny Fruitcake the other day.
Johnny Vegetable.
Now
he's healthy.
This is true. There's very little of Johnny left. To be honest, it is
going down.
And joking apart, that must be inspiring for you, Josh. Even you're such an experienced fighter, you're a veteran of the game. You've worked with your dad for all of these years, but your dad's going through a massive transition in that weight loss campaign in yourself. That must be inspiring to you to see your dad do that.
Weight loss, not gender, by the way. So.
Yes and no. Yes, because.
What do you mean? No?
Listen, let me out. Yes, because
There we go.
at the age of 60, a lot of people would think, what's the point? I don't need to. I'm like over halfway throughout my life, People think, why at this stage? But he has done, he's gone through it, and this man who's never wanting to go to hospital and then gone through the procedure of having operations and stuff. I'd say no a little bit because I know how strong a mindset he can be, I know how strong a person he can be, I know he's got the knowledge. He's surrounded by professional athletes and he has been for a long time. Like, he knows what to eat, he knows what to train. So I do feel like, could he have done that himself? But, listen.
He don't know everything.
Maybe at that age.
He don't know everything, he thinks he does, but I've seen it.
Okay, so let's just go right back to the beginning. It's hard for me to ask these questions when you sometimes know the answers, but how was boxing introduced to you, Josh?
I was just a kid who liked to be active, always out with mates, always playing football. I think he recognised that. I was into WWF wrestling as a kid. I was always wrestling with younger brothers. I'm oldest, I have a couple of brothers. Wrestling with them, and I think he knew that he'd just be entertained. So he started off with karate.
He liked to fight, to be honest.
Yeah,
he had a little streak in him from a very, very early age. When he had a little streak in him. And he could see it, it was evident. And I thought, we've got to get him busy. So he went to...
It started with karate, and I liked the physicality of that. I didn't enjoy the katas, so I told him I didn't want to go back. And he took me to a gym, York Road, facing the Irish Centre. Quite a unique building in Leeds. And once went in there, kind of hairs on my neck stood up. And, listen, as a kid, there were many times when I wanted to pack it in, I wanted to just play with my mates. And he used to say to me, listen, don't do it then, don't do it. And he went, don't feel like you're impressing me. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't fucking waste my time and don't waste the trainer's time. You're either doing it or you don't fucking do it at all. And at times I don't want to do it, but then I couldn't let it go. Oh, let me go again, Dad, don't let me go again. And then before you know it, you're in love with it, which is weird.
So, actually, that was you planting the seed to Josh that actually boxing was a really good thing and making Josh realise it was a really good idea and it was all his?
Well, I said opportunity to earn a few quid, like, I do all right, you know what I mean? No, he needed stimulating. I mean, he did have a little streak in him, to be honest with you. The only reason, he also, he suffered from lots of kind of illnesses as a kid. And it was one of them things where exercise was going to be good for him. And it was actually doctors that says, get him doing something. The more exercise he gets, the better. So yeah, a little bit to do with that as well, really. But mainly to stimulate him and occupy him, because he was a kid that spent a lot of time with me if I was going anywhere. I always had him under an arm. You know what I mean? So I'd have him under an arm, or he'd be dragging along, or he'd back in car seat, he'd push you know what I mean? So it was one of them where it was just something that I thought might stimulate him, occupy him.
In that sense as well, because you're always with an older being and seeing an older being, how he presents himself, how he acts in a certain way, certain manners. I feel it rubbed off on me. So a man who's well respected around Leeds, and I seen how he was with other people, interacting with other people, interacting with other men. And I thought I wanted to be just like that when I was older. In a way, I always felt like I had a wiser head on young shoulders, just because I've been spending so much time around him. So I used to ask him a lot of questions about life. Some things he might have sugarcoated for me, some things, made me understand at certain times. But one thing I do remember as a young lad was, as you're going through these working men's clubs and you're fighting up and down the country, I used to get out of the ring with a little plastic trophy and, feel like a champion of the world. And he always used to get a tap on the shoulder, hey, you come here. And it always was the same kind of person, normally a fella there, mid-30s, couple of pints on the table, ashtray, big gold chain, shirt on, and look the part, and say, young one, tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, listen, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. If I had my time again, I'd do what you're doing. And I used to say to him, I've heard it again tonight, Dad, what do they mean? And I remember this like yesterday, him saying to me, you might not remember, one time coming away from the show and he said, listen, you won't realise now because you're only young. But before you know it, you're 30. And it's like you look back and you think, I could have done this, I could have, would have, should have. Don't be one of them men. Don't be one of them men who think, I wish I'd done that, I could have done that, and I should have done that. Just do it now, stick to your boxing, you might go far. So I'm always grateful for that advice, pal. And
here we are, 2-time world champ, hopefully going for the 3rd and another weight. So not a bad story, really, is it?
The story is there, it's I say it's one of the things what you look back and you think, where did it start, when did it come about? Going into sort of like the second half of your kind of school days, you had a little bit of disenchantment with school and exams and things, and I understand it was Dad again that actually sort of said, you know what, you need this, yes, as much as boxing is something that you're going to go on to do, but you need to go back and you need to sit these exams. How important was that to you? Yeah, again, it made me look at things from a different angle. Yeah. So, academically, I was quite switched on until around year 10. And Jim Closer now. Jim Closer.
It's not got
I don't know, 14, 15. And academically, I'd always been okay, but then boxing had become a big passion. I didn't really used to like enjoying watching it on telly and stuff like that, but then all of a sudden I did. I wanted to go to the gym, I wanted to train, I wanted to go out running, and it became part of my identity. And then my exam results were started to slip, and I don't concentrate, and I wasn't studying, I wasn't doing my homework, and I remember I could knock this on the head. And you need to get something under your belt, because if the boxing doesn't work out, and that's one of the reasons why I became a dental technician, because I wanted to, earn some money or do something. I didn't know what I wanted to, and I was very, very, very close to joining the Marines. Very, very close to joining the Marines because I enjoyed the fitness of training and stuff like that, and the physicality. And he just said to me, listen, just hold on. I know it seems like a long way, but you'll be 18 before you know it.
My exact words were, army's full of souls.
I did say that, and he said, give the boxing a go. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back as maybe an officer or something like that, but just don't waste out what you've got. So yeah,
quite wise, aren't you, Sean?
Well, I like it.
I had a broader horizon, they could see a broader horizon.
Absolutely, and when we're young, no matter what our parents tell us, it's not, isn't it? We know best. But if somebody else, like you say, that 30-year-old bloke with the 2 pints and the ashtray, when he comes and tells you, oh, I wish I'd have done what you're doing now and that, you listen to that, don't you? Even though Dad's been saying it at the tea table for weeks or months on end. And talking about sitting around at the dinner table, Sean, you were the sole parent bringing up the boys for many, many years, working as a taxi driver. How did you balance all of that?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't entirely sole parent. They've had a few different mums and that. Well, every Wednesday night down into Birdcage in Leeds and try and get them a new man. As if I didn't have any up there, I used to go back on Friday and Saturday night into Flares and try and get them one in there. You know what I mean? So it's not entirely on me.
The boot cut.
But no, it was all that. Bust a few shapes like it. It was alright really. I think we didn't have a lot when we were kids. One thing I wanted these to have. One thing that I wanted them to have were to come in from school and be something to eat on stove. And the other thing I always wanted were an open fire. Because it was always freezing in our house, you know what I mean? So I got a log burner put in and there was always a pan of something on, wasn't there? But it was a lad's house really. It was a lad's house, so there were always mates around, or there were always one or two of my mates around, and it was a good carry on really, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do all different, not bawling like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of houses, it's just like, you got to do this because this is how families do it. I mean, we did have a really good carry on, didn't we?
Yeah, they were expensive.
Plenty of grub. Oh, it was an experience, alright. I won't go into detail so much, but
That's an episode
it was
completely
an
for
experience.
itself.
You know what? It was hard but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Hard but enjoyable. I was a cab driver and I kind of worked for my son, so I could be at home when I needed to be at home, when I wanted to be at home. If I've had enough, I have to come home. So it was alright, you know what I mean? It was good.
Okay, so moving into you turning over a professional, Josh.
Yeah.
Were you still living with Dad at that point, or had you moved out?
No, I was still living at home until around ages 20, maybe. Around 20 I moved out.
There was no caravan at Gavin, did you? All the big caravan.
I lived in a caravan for a couple of years, from age of 18, which, it suited me well, no bit of space inside the house. And then I got with my now wife, Natasha, and just got to the stage where diet and nutrition really comes into play, and I was able to move into a mum and dad's house, and
Right.
it kind of like circled really quickly. I was there for about a year and a half, and then before I went, me and Natasha were getting our own house. So it were. When I look back, it were, probably at the time it felt like a long time, but a really short period of, leaving home, then being attached to mum and dad's for a few years, and then, our own place.
And from kind of moving out, did you see a shift and a change in the dynamic that you guys had as coach and boxer, or was that kind of come later in life?
I would say so, yeah. Certainly, because we used to take a lot of things home when we lived together, like disagreements would carry on into home. We to go from the gym to the house, and looking back now, I can see why it did, because he was passionate. He wanted me to succeed as much as I wanted to, but as a kid you can't see that. You're like thinking, what the fuck are you having to go at me for? And like,
Probably better, wasn't it really? Because if it got to an end, instead of argument carrying on, I'll say, hey, fuck off home. And he'd say, fuck that, I'm off home.
Yeah.
So we're done with there and then.
Squashed it.
You're not sharing a sofa on a night trying to watch Coronation Street.
Awkwardly coming through the living room, and like, you're still not talking to each other, so.
All you do is just like, don't talk to him for a few days.
So I just can't even imagine that of you two, because all I ever see is literal laughs when I come in here. It's just
Yeah, I know,
banter,
I've had his moments. I mean, I've had it where my missus says, you going to give him money? Nah, fucking. You know what I mean?
But I think as boxers, and you've got to have that stubborn side of you as well, of your personality.
I don't think you can be, I think you can't be any other really, because you're weak, you can't be weak. You can't be showing a weakness.
And that's
you
it,
can't
isn't
expect them to get in there, put a life on line, give their all. If you're weak, can you? Really?
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's one of them, so. But it's a bit awkward. It's awkward anyway. You know what I mean? It can be awkward.
Looking back and looking at how life is now as well, like there might be one or two things I might have said, that we could have done it way a little bit better.
Yeah.
But like in terms of the skin that I've got and the things that we've gone through, like I remember working as a dental technician, and I went into the lab, and again a lot of characters there, and I'd spoken to some of the lads who've been there for a number of years, and they were reminiscing of when they first started. They were kind of the one who took a lot of stick, and they kind of tried it on with me, but because I had the bringing of him,
They went out.
they had the levels to it, and so I just found myself straight away. I had my feet straight away, so it's like it certainly helps, and well, certainly as you get older and you go through adversities and problems, like, well, you know what, the upbringing I've had, it's kind of, at the time it feels, oh fucking hell, he's on me back all the time, but now, I wouldn't have had it another way. I wouldn't have it everywhere.
But it still does that. He'll ask me for advice, So I'm in Whitby last night. So the day before I went, I sat at his house at the table having my coffee. How do you make Yorkshire puddings? So I told him. Yeah. Next day after yesterday, while I'm there, picture of a big roast dinner and a load of Yorkshire puddings. Look at them Yorkshire puddings.
Hey.
So I'm like, I said, here, look what he sent me. She's going, oh, they look alright. So I rang him, I said, hey, look, I like them. I said, is that my recipe? No.
Aunt Bessie's.
No. Fucking God and Amber's. I said, what's fucking point? Yeah, but I feel a bit good saying that because eggs are off my birds. Eggs are off my chickens. So they're wasted, you know what I mean? So he asked me advice. I tell him 3 times because it's hard to sink in sometimes. So I told him and said, so you know what you're doing then? Yeah. Did you use my recipe? No, God and Amber's. Well, fucking hell.
So, talking of recipes then, what is the recipe for your success as father and son in boxing?
I don't know, I'm going to give you pudding recipe then.
Self-raising, not plain.
I'll tell you what you've got to do. Success in boxing. I think what you've got to be on level, haven't you? I think the big success, and I think you've already touched on that, is you've got to know when to separate boxing and family life, home life. I think that's the recipe for success. Other thing, you've got to distance yourself from being too sensitive. There's lots of people that'll shoot you down for being, you know what I mean, oh, I should have pulled him out, no, I'd left him in too long, oh, I pulled him out too early. You can't win, whatever happens, because they all jump on that father's love thing. What they should be doing is they should be looking at things properly. Well, he's done all right there. Must have been there, because they don't know the fighters like we know. We know when enough's enough, you know what I mean? Actually, him and Reese have had a go at me because they said Max is my favourite because I saved Maxie, you know what I mean?
Oh.
I didn't stop them, I didn't pull them, you know what I mean? But if I pull him or I pull Reese.
I was just going to ask you, you've got Reese Mould, you've got Maxie Hughes in tonight, both have got fights coming up. Do you treat Maxie, Reese, any of the other guys, girls that are coming up now? Josh is smiling already and he's nodding because he knows what the question is, he knows the answer.
I like Maxie.
Apart from Maxie, do you treat everybody the same or can we tell?
No, I like Maxie. Maxie's my special. I'm not keen on him, I'm not keen on Reese. I'm not keen on any of them really.
Josh, I'll ask you that question.
No. You know what it is with them? I'm going to be perfectly honest here. A lot of people think it's just me and him. And I know this interview is about me and him. But when them lads are in there, they're like your own lads. And it's like him. I think even with these, they might not realise it. When they're fighting, it's like his brother's fighting. And that's how it is. That's just how it is, I mean. You know.
We just had a chat off camera about the difficult decision to pull somebody out, to throw the towel in. And you've been through some adversity recently with Maxie, and that's where we touched on this. How difficult is it to know that that's a potential decision that you sometimes might have to make for Josh? And does it happen at the same time?
No, I don't think it is difficult really. I think it's an experience thing. I think it's an experience thing. You'll know when, I mean, like him, should have pulled him out against Lara. Well, not really, because after the first knockdown, he got up and he won every round after that. So, was it a wrong decision? I don't think so.
I still believe he could have won.
He still believes he could have won.
He asked me numerous times how I'm feeling. Do you want to, is it enough?
I'm looking at his eyes and I'm seeing if he's all going. I mean, we've had this before with fighters in gym where you look at their eyes and you just see something not right and you can change things around, can't you? You know when enough's enough, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not particularly difficult now. I think, like I say, it's an experience thing. We've been at it a long time now with other fighters, not just him. If he needed stopping, needed pulling out, then I would show you.
And I'm just going to wrap it up, just talking about, you're in camp, Josh. We're in Wembley, 21st of September, Riyadh season is coming to the UK.
Yeah.
Anthony Kakachi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully 2-weight world champion, Josh. 3-time. Talk to me, how's that? How's it going?
Yeah, opportunity was him to have come out of the blue. We was always planning to be moving up weights anyway.
Yeah.
In fact, the fight before when I boxed Lee Wood, in that camp we were all saying and we were all discussing, me, Reese Mould, Maxim and Rob
Even before Lee Wood fight.
Yeah.
Everyone were focusing on Lee Wood making weight and so making weight and everyone else making weight, but everybody has difficulties making weight. And I mean, there were a number of factors during that fight. And I think it was always going to be a thing. I mean, one of the factors during the fight were, I agree with referee, because he had his back to him, he got up and he walked towards me. I've got to agree with that because it's wrongful. What I didn't agree with is the stopping the braking momentum.
I agree.
The braking momentum did us there.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Everybody agreed.
Yeah, and I think from those watching at home, because
When you get members of all the camp actually saying to you, fucking hell, referee did us a favour there. Members of the camp, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to cause, it's like I'm having a dig or being bitter, but I'm not.
No.
It's all members at camp say to me, fucking hell, he was breezing that, he did you no favours there. I mean, we even had some
fucking turn on.
We even had somebody from Bath.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, we want nothing to do with that, we're breaking momentum for point off.
I know.
We were in America with Maxi, and they were clear. The rules meeting before this with Cambodia. He says, this is what we're big on and this is what I'm big on here. If you set off to deliver a punch and the fighter turns his head, I'm not going to pull you for throwing an illegal blow. That's not an illegal blow. Your opponent turns his head and turns the back of his head to you, it's not an illegal blow. I was always under the impression as well that you had to have a couple of warnings before they took the fight. Well, we didn't get one. We had all the bollocks, I'm going to let you fight inside, I'm going to let you fight inside as long as it's clean. And every time we went forward, mind your head, mind your head, mind your head.
Do you, sorry, I'm going to just jump in there. Do you get frustrated with this, Josh?
Yeah.
I've been a lifelong Josh Warrington fan,
then you get...
and anybody who is in the away side will sit there and say.
But then you watch, I mean Nick Ball, I love Nick Ball, I like Nick Ball and I'm not going to take it away
it's his
from him.
style, isn't it?
It's his style.
It's come forward, stay low.
It's his style.
And
Kiko Martinez,
absolutely,
it's his style.
Absolutely. So
So you've got to be, if you're going to have a rule, but follow the rules. Don't just, you know what I mean?
The stigma kind of comes from Lara.
Yeah.
Lara too.
Yeah,
didn't it?
yeah.
If you look at it, it wasn't actually us.
Well, look for Lara too, right?
I was there.
And like, you know, that fight is, you know, people from us say, oh, I just wanted out, so that's what he did. You've got two fighters go forward, then, you know, it's going to happen, you know, and then, you know, it just happened. Say what I want about, like, his corner team and how they handled that cut, you know, they wanted out, out, right? That's that. Then I boxed Kiko Martinez, again, someone who's smaller than me, comes up, end up getting caught. And then all of a sudden I've got this stigma of, oh, he's a dirty fighter. Like, I've never had once had a point taken off me. But then, you know, a lot of the referees from this country, they see, they read, they hear, and it's like they get influenced from outside factors instead of keeping the professional heads. And listen, Michael Alexander's always been a brilliant referee. But I think that night, I don't know if pressure's got to him there because
I think so.
They're calling, screaming and shouting.
After that, I've seen him in numerous fights where you're like, well, he's going to pull them for that, he's going to pull him for that, he's going to pull her for that. One of them was a female fight, and he never even warned him. And you're like, fucking hell, be consistent. And I think what it is they're doing it week in, week out. And well, I'm not going to say any more on it, to be honest, because I'm still involved in boxing.
So we're going back to Wembley.
Go back to Wembley.
All right.
I was going to say that. Originally, I was going to be moving up.
What question again?
I think it's because, you know, I had the Lara saga, then I had the opportunity with Kiko Martinez. I won a title there at Feather, so that kept me at Feather. Then I had the defence against Lopez, and then after that we were like, oh, right, what we're going to do? But it went on with, oh, we're going to get another fight with Lopez, then we're going to get the fight with Lara, then we're going to get the winner of Wood Lara, and then eventually it ended up Wood. But it kept me there for another year. Like, and I remember saying to myself, like, get through this one, then I'm going to say to Eddie in the ring, right, you take me to America, go fight Ray Vargas. If not, then I'm moving up ways to fight Joe Cordina, because when I re-signed with Eddie, we signed a contract where it was a 3-fight contract. The fight was going to be Kanju, Edinley for Ring Magazine belt. Then in defence in America, the third fight was going to be against Joseph Diaz Jr., who at the time was the IBF Super Featherweight Champion. So our intention always has been to move up. But it was just when the time was right to do so. But yeah, it's a fight there in a way. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. Listen, I've looked at Anto. He's a very respectful man. He's hungry.
Like him.
And he's looked me in the eye and said to me, Josh, you have to peel me off the canvas to you know, for me to lose this fight. But I know where I need to go, and it's kind of like.
And you've been.
I've been there as well. Like I feared Lisa a bit. I feared Carl Frampton. I didn't feel he would.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't really feel like he guard, and like they weren't my best performances. Listen, boxing would head off. You know what I mean? But like when I'm kind of training that fear, I think it brings the best out of me. You know. Yeah. Listen, I'm a massive underdog once again going into this one, but just listen, don't let me off. That's all I'm saying. Don't let me off.
We love an underdog, especially from Leeds. Right, boys, I'm going to finish off.
Belting pictures. Belting.
Do you like them?
Oh, cracking.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Right. So, these are for you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
As you can see, guys, you've got Josh on one and Sean on the other.
All the one thing.
So it's a little bit like Mr. and Mrs., but it's father and son. Alright? Okay, so I'm literally.
Quite big there, mate.
I was going to say, I couldn't find. Yeah, just put that up next to your face, Johnny. I called him Johnny now, look at that.
Potato.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Look at that.
No, not Johnny Kebab, it's Johnny Salad, isn't it now?
Johnny Vegetable.
Right, so I just want to ask you a couple of questions, and all you've got to do is put up the person who you think is the answer to the question. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Who's the funniest? Who's the grumpiest? Ooh! No cheating. You imagine that glittery walls in the middle of you. Don't you remember off them? Yeah. Who's the most competitive? Oh, that's charades at Christmas. Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Who's most likely to win? Thought we didn't like draws in boxing. Who's the most likely to be late to training? Josh.
Terrible.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Who's the best looking?
Easy. Don't need someone who asked that.
Literally undisputed, unanimous. There we go. Who's the smartest? Oh, we agree on one. And the last one, who's the messiest? To be fair, you've been cleaning this shit up for 33 years, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been in the house for 33 years.
Boys, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Josh, we'll see you Wembley, 21st of September. And the new. 3, 2,
Come on.
let's go.
That's a good little touch, that.
Thank you, guys. That took me.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.